No one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. I would
What is up, everybody? This is Omar from Team Earthring, bringing you another updated version of the Charizard deck that we have. So we made some changes from the previous video that we had due to Worlds and being able to see what was going to be played and what was going to be meta. So we made some changes to our list as well. And it's going to be subject to change as well, because as now everybody sees the list that have made good, and people are going to just copy and paste it, and people are going to be taken for that as well. And so we're going to go on and start the video with the Pokemon lineup. And of course we have Charizard himself. We are running a 3-count Charizard for our list as well. This is most common in all these green Zard lists as well. Running the 3 because you don't need 4. The 3 count is really good to have. You don't want to start with Charizard. You want to start out with Volcanion most of the time because of the Flare Starter ability. So on to our next Pokemon that we have. It is going to be the 4-count Volcanion that everybody has seen. It's a really good count to have. Like I said, you want to start out with Volcanion so you can use Flare Starter to get those extra energies onto the Charizard. You know, Charizard is going to be your main attacker here. He is going to be swinging in for those one-hit knockouts if you can get those 6 energies on him as well. And there's also other tech options that we have to be able to help him out to get those one-hit knockouts against Pikaroms and such things. With the Volcanion, I like using it against a lot of the decks, like the Malamar decks, against the Pikarom decks, against the Persephone decks, you know, because you're forcing Persephone to use 3 energies to get the knockout on a single prize attacker. Now that's 3 energies into the loss zone that you don't have to worry when you finally bring out a Charizard. So if you're playing against Persephone, in my testing that I've been doing, it's better not to bring out Charizard and just bring out your Volcanions as much as you can, because you're just going to eventually take those knockouts, and by the time you actually bring out a Charizard down, they have already gone through so much energy into the loss zone that they're not going to be able to one-shot your Charizard. Now, it's really great to do that option. I've been testing it out a lot, and it's very consistent to be able to do that. Another tech option that I was actually considering was the Tapu Fini that I mentioned earlier in some of my other videos. Tapu Fini is really good if your meta around you in your area is Persephone heavy. Tapu Fini is a great tech option for this deck because you can just switch out a card, add some Pokemon communications in there, and 1 energy attachment takes care of Persephone as well. Great tech option, guys. Alright, so that is the Pokemon lineup for this deck profile. We're going to move on to our stadium-wise counts. And for the stadiums, we are running actually pretty heavy stadiums here, guys. We are, of course, running your typical Heat Factory here to get some more draw engine going with the discarding of Fire Energy, drawing through more cards. We're running to 2 Power Plants because there is a lot of Pokemon with abilities out there right now. There's an Mew that just won Worlds, there's Pikarom. I mean, everything has an ability, and this card right here shuts it down. And it buys you a turn, or maybe even 2, depending on how well your opponent is stuck in their hand or not. We are running the 1 copy of Lysandre Labs. Now this is another great option for the spell tag decks, anything with item or tool-based decks. This is a great option for you to buy another turn, especially against the Malamar decks, because those spell tag damage is really pesky and annoying to deal with. You're just gonna have to use all your heals. Why not add a little extra in there to annoy them? So our last stadium count that we have, I like this one a lot because it allows you to one-shot those Pikaroms, and of course it's going to be Shrine of Punishment. Now this actually, you know, ends up biting you as well, but if you can get ahead of the prizes, this is what I would use. The 1 damage that you get from this Shrine of Punishment is enough to get you that one-shot and possibly slow them down, because if they go first and they're trying to get all their energies onto that Pikarom, and you start off with a good hand and you're able to, you know, get it going, you're able to slow them down with the Shrine, be able to take out that knockout and just slow them down. They're going to have to use manually attachment to get their Pokemon set up as well, because on their first turn, second turn, they're using Tapu Koko's ability, they're using energy switches, they're using all their resources, and if you can get ahead of them and get that knockout, slow them down, they're going to have to start all over, and that's the way I like playing against Pikarom with Charizard. So that is our stadium count right there, guys. We're going to move on to some supporter. Alright, And of course, we are running the 4 copies of greens because this is the greens version Zard list. I like it a lot. 4 copies of greens allows you to get anything you want in your deck. A really good card. You can combo it up with Lieutenant Surges. You can combo it up with anything that you're going to get out of your deck. Such a great card to have. We have Pokemon Communication to search it out even more. It's just a wonderful card to have. This deck allows you to just take in a lot of options and be able to use greens to get those cards out. So our second supporter count is going to be the 4 counts for Welder. Of course, Welder, this is the bread and butter for this deck. It allows you to attach 2 fire energies and draw 3 more cards. Like I said, with this deck, you're not going to have a small hand with this deck. You're always going to have a huge hand. You're going to have a lot of the combo cards that you need in your hand. If you're playing this correctly, you are going to have everything in your hand. And the only time that it hurts is when someone reset stamps you judges. But I mean, after that, you're off to the winning right there, because if they're reset stamping you and judging you, it's because you're ahead of the prizes, and it's not going to be a big difference because this list is running the Pokégears. It's running Acro Bikes. It's just a lot of options to get some cards out. So we are adding 1 copy of Lieutenant Surge. I like this combo. Lieutenant Surge allows you to play 2 supporters or up to 3 supporters, including this one. So if you're behind on prizes, which you will be most of the time if you're starting with Volcanion, which is okay, Lieutenant Surge is going to allow you to play a greens, a welder, double greens. I just like this tech option. It's really good to have. If you're behind against a mirror for the Charizard, they took your first Charizard out. Lieutenant Surge, double welder. You know, you can do something about that, get another knockout, return knockout. It's a great card to have. And of course, I like this new addition. I saw this off one of the players off Worlds. I liked it a lot. The Lusamine allows you to return some cards, you know, some stadiums or either supporter into your deck. It's a really good tech option because sometimes you need, you know, your extra green, you need the extra welder, or you need that Shrine of Punishment again to take out another pesky Pikarom, or you just need some other stadium to bring back to prevent them from doing something that turn. So this is a great card to have. It's just like a POW pad, but it's a supporter, but it lets you bring in 2 different options. I like it a lot. And so that is our supporter count. We're going to move on to some items. And of course, this deck is running a lot of items because it has the room for it. And that's why I like this deck. We are running 2 copies of Cherish Ball. This allows you to get your Charizards out when you need them and get them loaded. 2 is all you need because you want to start off with Volcanion anyways and Charizard. Depending on what you're playing against, you'll decide to fish out a Charizard or not. We are running 4 copies of Acro Bike. Now this is another great card to have to be able to go through your deck, get those cards you need, you know, send some cards you don't need into the discard depending on the matchup. I like this option just for more consistency. And in this list, we are running 1 copy of Switch, just in case you get stuck and you want a greens for a Switch, or either you have something else set up for a combo. I like the 1 copy of Switch just to be able to move around my Pokemon, so I don't have to discard my energies manually for that reason. Okay, so another option we have here, or another card I mean, is the Reset Stamp, 1 copy of Reset Stamp. Now this is a great card if you are behind on prizes. It works very well, slows your opponent down, and it's just for your opponent. So if you're ahead of the prizes or even, this Reset Stamp only affects your opponent. It's really good. And I've seen that it does put a lot of people in a tight spot and has to work even harder to get those combo cards they need to get the game. We are running 2 Fire Crystals as well. I think the 2 Fire Crystals is enough because you have that Switch, you have other cards that you can use as well. The 2 Fire Crystals, you know, you get 3 energies back. It's a great count. I like it a lot. You won't need more than that, I believe. Now for our energy search mechanic to get some energies out, we are running a split here. We are running a Fire Flint. We did have 2, but I like this better actually. It's 1 copy of Fire Flint and then 1 copy of Energy Spinner. Now with the Energy Spinner, you don't have to discard anything from your hand to be able to use it. If you're going on your first turn, you know, you get to get 3 energies out if you're going second. It's a great card. Most of the time you want to go second, or you're probably going to start second depending on the dice roll or who's going first. Energy Spinner is a great card to get some 3 energies out. Fire Flint is the backup just in case. If you want to thin out your hand, Fire Flint's awesome too. So on to our next item card. We are running, of course, the 4 count custom catchers. Custom Catcher is the new Gust effect, and it's really good to have 4 in this deck. It's really easy to get the 4 that you need, or the combo of 2 with the greens and all the drawing that you're going to be doing with the Welder and Heat Factory. Really good card to have. I like it a lot. 4 is what you need to make this work. So now on to our next item card. It is going to be healing base, the Mixed Herbs. We're running 4 of the Mixed Herbs. Now this card is absolutely insane, guys. It allows you to move conditions, and if you use 2, it heals you for a lot of damage. So I like the 4 count because there is a lot of paralyzation. Persephone is going to be a big player now with that bursting burn effect where it burns you and confuses you. Well, 1 Mixed Herbs removes all that nonsense and allows you to attack and get some knockouts. So I like the 4 count. It's very, very easy to get in this deck if you need to use 2, or just use the first effect of removing special conditions. Gives you those 2 options, which is amazing for this deck. And we did trim down our Great Potion count. I think 3 is enough. That 4 was a little absurd, and the 3 count is really good because if you're gonna have to be using all your healing on a match, then you're not playing right. 3 count is really good. It gives you more room for other tech options as well. You won't necessarily need all the Great Potions, depending on, if you're not going against Persephone or anything that can one-shot you, you're going to be using it. So Malamar decks, maybe Pikarom decks, you're going to be using it. But I'm assuming that a lot of players are going to be using the new Persephone along with the Mew or Charizard. Anything that can one-shot a Charizard, they're going to be using it. So the 3 count, I like it a lot. I think it's a good count. And we are going to move on to our next item. Let's move these up a little bit, actually. Or stick these over here. So for our last item count, it is going to be the 4 copy Pokégear 3.0. Pokégear allows you to fish out your supporters. Top 7 cards, you get any supporter that you find there. You can only get 1, so it's another way to get the cards that you need. So it just adds more consistency to this deck. Along with Acro Bikes, you got Welder, you got Heat Factory, a lot of draw supports, and this just adds the icing on top of the cake right here, guys. So that is our item count for this deck profile, guys. We are going to move on to our energy count here. I know we got a lot of 1-0s, but like I said, with this deck and the greens, you're able to just run like this with this deck. It's so consistent. The only time you might have a hard time is if you break off the beginning, but that's pretty hard with this deck because you got those greens, you have Pokemon Communication, Pokégears. You have a lot of options to be able to fish into your deck and get what you need. So for this list, we are running 11 energy count here. And this is all you need for this Charizard deck here, guys. 11 is absolutely wonderful for this count. If you had 12, if you have 1 less, I don't think it's going to be much of a difference. I think if you're adding more, it is because you're taking a slot away from another tech option that you could use less. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't recommend it because the 11 is a great number to have. You want to be able to have energies in the deck when you flare starter. You want to have energies in the deck when you fire flint or energy spinner. When you any way to get some energies out, you want to make sure you have energies in there along with energies in your hand. So you don't want to take away from this count. You would add, but like I said, you will take another tech option away from your deck that you have. Alright guys, so this is the deck profile for the updated ReshiZard list. I like it a lot. I've been playtesting with this list, especially against Persephone, and it just, if you're playing it right, I've come to just find out that I'm just using Volcanions. I'm forcing them to use 3 energies to get those knockouts. And by the time they're finally getting set up, they don't have enough energies to get my Charizards down. So I can just mix Herb, just heal them. I also teched in Tapu Fini, which is another great option for the mirror match. But of course, that goes off the current meta where you're location at or where you're located at. So you want to play off of that. All right, guys. So if you liked the video, please do comment, subscribe, and share it. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll keep you posted on the next videos. Peace out, guys.